Hello, and welcome to episode 13 of the Podcastinators. I am your host, Brandon Nichols, alongside Sam Spangler. How are you doing this afternoon, evening? This is past evening.
Yeah, it is past
It's
evening.
past evening and 3 days after we normally record.
Right, but an aptly named episode.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, it is. Not to my own doing. Anyways, so how are you doing today, sir?
Good. You'll be happy. I started Oxenfree. I got into about 5 minutes of it. So I liked it so far.
And then we started playing another video game.
Then we started playing PUBG, which some of our friends, we may be getting in with it, playing with them. So
yes.
What did you think of PUBG? I know you've maybe briefly touched on it.
I'd played it a little bit before. I had fun with us playing it. It was a little weird. Our first match, I kind of aired out because it's
that happens. It's
PUBG
still,
and it's console. And
it's still PUBG.
But we had fun. I think it got down closer to the end and it was just... We were number 11?
Yeah, we were number 11. We're doing duos, and so we got taken out from behind. What can you do when you're running to get out of the blue?
Yeah. Don't kill me, Circle of Death.
That's really all the games I've played, though.
So what did you think of the first 5 minutes of Oxenfree?
I liked it. A nice little kind of entryway, kind of like simple, they're talking, the dialogue is good, between the characters.
It's one of the things I really like about it is the voice acting and the dialogue and the storytelling.
And of course, right now it's just one of those that I don't know anything that's going on exactly with the story, where they're going. I already have like ideas in my head. I'm like, it's interesting. They're on this boat and the captain's just going. I'm like, are they like on the river Styx or something like that, going into the afterlife or something? I have these theories that are already popping up just because I've heard a lot about the game. Gotcha. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
So it does have a similar core play mechanics as After Party.
Yeah.
But it is still different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, but I enjoy it. I'm planning on continuing to play it.
I jumped back into Witcher.
Yeah.
I started a new game to reaccustom myself with the controls.
Yeah.
So what was really funny was Monica didn't realize I was doing this. There's a rule in this house. I am not allowed to play Witcher without my wife being...
I've heard you say this.
Yes. So Dave was upstairs watching me. Basically, I just went to a different name on my PlayStation, and I queued it up, and I just was like, okay, getting the controls down. I was maybe 45 minutes into the game, and I think Monica put Logan to sleep and comes out, and we're talking, and I'm playing, and she's just oblivious. And then it took, she finally glanced at, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is happening right now? What are you doing? And I'm like, calm down. I started a new game. And then I was trying to explain to Dave because he was telling me how far he had gotten. And I was like, you don't understand. I got really far in this game. So then just for shits and giggles, I actually opened up my main save and I zoomed out of the map and it's clear.
Oh, that's
except for all the new stuff that's on the DLC. And he was like, well, you did do some work. I'm like, yeah, there's no icons anywhere on this
game
map.
is bonkers. It's just it's so big.
It is.
It's so big and daunting, and I couldn't do it. But so speaking of The Witcher, I finished The Witcher on Netflix, which I think you did maybe a couple weeks ago, and I've kind of been thinking about it more. The episodes are, as we kind of talked about, the timeline, it jumps all over the place.
Right. And
they may have a hard time deciding if I liked it or not.
Yeah, you seem kind of meh about it.
But it's been growing like that. I'm just like, no. They did something with it, this show that first of all, I can't believe they attempted, which was to kind of explain not just the main character, The Witcher himself, but lots of different things going on in this world. And I think they pulled it off. Yeah. I think they actually did it, and it's insane.
So I wanted to let you know I'm about 3/4 of the way through of the first book.
Yeah.
The first book is the first season.
Is it really?
And they it also jumps around timeline.
Okay.
So, but they talked about in the second book or the second season, it's much more straightforward. So once I'm curious, I'll finish this book probably tomorrow afternoon or Friday. I'll start the next one because I'm curious as to, where it's at.
Well, and one thing I do appreciate is maybe not all the acting, but most of the acting in it is very good too. The actors that they have chose for the characters. I just wasn't sure I was gonna I like Geralt, Henry Cavill, because he just kind of grunts and is just kind of the rough and but he just is always mad, always
Right.
pissed. And sometimes I'm just like, come on, have another like aspect versus that. But then as the whole story starts evolving, you're kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
I get why he's maybe the way he is. And then even like Yennefer, that actress is, I mean, just amazing.
She's really good.
Yeah, like playing. I don't want to spoil anything, but she is.
2 different versions of herself.
Yes, thank you. I didn't want to even say that. She's 2 different versions of herself.
I honestly wasn't 100% sure it was the same actress. At first, I was like, well, it's got to be the same actress, but I don't know how they did that.
And she just does a phenomenal job of playing both parts.
Yes. Facial expression and contortion.
Yeah.
Because there are physical changes to her too, but it's more the face. It also reaffirmed my hatred for bangs. I don't like bangs. I don't like women who have bangs. I mean, it's your own thing. It's your own hair. It doesn't matter what the hell I think. But I'm just,
I didn't catch that. Try tapping above the toilet.
Siri wanted to join in.
Siri, I don't like your bangs. Okay, shut up, Siri. Anyways, but like,
well, fair enough.
and and I said that to Monica too. I was like, see, she got rid of the bangs and it was a lot better.
So
but,
if I grow bangs, it's over.
It's
this
over.
podcast
We're
is
done
done.
talking.
Okay.
We're going back to
It's good to know.
you being you.
Fair enough. But yes, shows, actually, I think it's one of the better, shows on Netflix. I'm excited for season 2 now. And yeah.
You just have to wait a year.
I'm okay.
Yeah, and I am too.
I'm okay with being patient and waiting for these things. I'd rather them come out and be good, like some other shows that have taken a little longer off.
Right. I'm actually more excited for it taking a year because I'm like, I have nothing but plans now to plow through all the Witcher books because I want to.
Yeah. That's always kind of nice.
What's really funny is I was reading an interview with him today because people were trying to get his opinion on it. Yeah, I guess he has a credit on the show.
Yeah.
And he was asked like how much he actually involved, and he was like, pretty much not at all. But because he has a credit on the show, which means he gets money from it.
Oh, nice.
He kept getting asked his opinions on how the show was and how they portrayed it. He goes, "It'd just be smart if I just didn't say anything." But he has always been anti non-books when it comes to entertainment. And he even said in this interview, he's like, when it comes to entertainment, I just prefer books over anything else. He goes, I think that video games and television,
He's a book purist.
Yeah, and movies, he goes, they're just their own form of entertainment, and they have their limitations to what you can do.
I wonder if he's just like a constant reader.
It's just some old Polish dude.
Yeah, and I think I saw something like a quote by him too, that he said that he likes to do as little work as he.
Yeah,
can.
he goes, I don't like to work.
I don't like to work or like do anything. So he's like, I'll take the credit because I'm sure he's going to get paid out royalties for this.
Right.
But
well, and they just finally CD Projekt Red just finally finalized a new contract with him. So that means they're expected much more Witcher games. Yeah. So, which I wasn't expecting another Witcher game until next generation, anyways. So it's just one of those. Anything else? Your weekend win?
That's pretty much been it.
We're 1 week away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that in there because Chiefs. Oh, please win.
Yes. It's going to be bananas here in Kansas City.
It is going to be extremely nuts. Just by itself, it's going to be nuts.
Oh yeah. Pre-Super Bowl, during Super Bowl, post-Super Bowl, whatever happens, it's going to be nuts.
I was talking to one of my suppliers today, and it was funny. I was like, I literally, every Super Bowl, I get excited to like sit back and relax and be stress-free, watch the commercials, eat, and have fun. Like, I've never wanted to watch any of the pregame stuff, but like I'm going, what time's pregame start for Super Bowl? Don't they like start at like 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. even though it's like a 7 o'clock game or something? Soon. Next podcast, we'll be talking about it. Yes, which reminds me, next podcast, man, so what are you doing on the 5th?
Is the 5th Super Bowl?
No, the Super Bowl is the 2nd.
Oh, okay.
The 5th is next Friday.
I can't do math. I don't know.
So supposedly, the 5th is the entire PS4 reveal.
Oh, okay.
I think that'd be a fun. We'll just sit down
and
record
be a fun,
and talk.
Yeah, kind of hash out.
Maybe watch it.
Yeah.
If they do it like in the evening or something. Just throwing that out there with you.
Okay.
Speaking of watching, did you see my message? We should watch 1917.
I did.
Okay.
There are many things that I want to watch. My work schedule's changed a little bit here recently, where I don't have as many days off during the week now.
Lame.
I know. I'm more Monday through Friday, like everybody else right now. which is fine. Which is fine. I know. I've done it before. It's not. It's it's definitely a change. But I do want to watch these movies, and Emily and I's schedule has just been kind of coinciding, so I need some time,
right,
to be like, yes, let's watch these things.
Yes. Monica and I tried watching Little Women, and we tried doing it while the kids were awake and Dave was awake, and there was just too much hecticness, and I was like, I'm turning this off. We're going to watch this later because I'm just wanting to murder everybody in the room at the moment. That was another question. Just real quick. Do you get lunches? I said to you, if you had time, we should probably have lunch.
Yes, I do, but I don't have time to get away from the hospital.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Lame.
Yep.
People aren't that important. Let's get into a little bit of news before we talk about some stuff.
Okay.
I just real quick, because the Batman is officially into production.
Yep, I saw the film slot.
Yeah,
or the clipboard. Clackboard, whatever it's called.
I was going to ask you
I
what
don't
the
know what
exact
it's called.
word was. So
Should be called the clackboard.
Matt Reeves posted the clackboard, I guess you would say. It just says the Batman. There
On
it
a
is.
scale from 0 to 10, how excited are you?
12.
Yeah, I figured as much.
And I'll be honest, only because it's Matt Reeves directing it.
Yeah.
That is what
What's he
has
done?
my height. He's done the recent, off the top of my head, the only thing I can think of is the recent Planet of the Apes movies,
Okay.
which were really good.
Yeah. Okay.
So
My first thought was the one that what's his name directed, the one with Mark Wahlberg in it. Was Mark Wahlberg in a Planet Apes movie?
yeah, he was the one of the first one.
Yeah, with what's his name, the director that did The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, didn't Tim Burton direct that?
Did he?
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe.
know.
But all I know, that's the one that my mind jumped to right off the bat, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a really weird Batman movie.
Right.
It's actually a Batman.
I'm also really excited about the cast because Zoe Kravitz, which I've never seen Zoe Kravitz in anything that I can think
haven't
of.
either.
But she has the look for a comic accurate Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Jeffrey Wright is Commissioner Gordon. I'm okay with. I really like him as an
Jeffrey
actor.
Wright. Yep.
Colin Farrell is the Penguin. Now, you've played the Telltale Batman series.
No.
No?
I have it, but I haven't played it.
Well, you need to play it just to see that version
I
of the
thought you were
Penguin.
going to say the Rocksteady Batman.
Well, yeah.
I played those.
So that Penguin is a more traditional Penguin.
I love the glass bottle that's jabbed in his eye.
Yeah,
That's
right?
fantastic.
It's great. Which reminds me, the comic book convention here in Kansas City, Planet Comic-Con, has Troy Baker and Nolan North.
I saw that.
Who voices most of those guys. No, you need to play, at least for a couple episodes, of the Batman from Telltale, because I like that take of the Penguin of Cobblepot, and which makes me a little more excited for the Penguin and Gotham. I kind of liked that take of the Penguin.
I like the Telltale games. They just got a little buggy.
Yeah, the Batman games are pretty solid though. I didn't really have any issues.
I don't know. My
with
friend did show me one where I think Batman's head, or I think it was Bruce Wayne's head, was turned one direction and his body went the other.
That was when it first came out. Okay, Sam. But I'm looking forward to Colin Farrell and I'm giving Robert Pattinson all the pass in the world at the
Paul
moment.
Dano is the Riddler. Very excited about that.
So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, its filming is underway officially in London. So I can't wait for next year for that.
Yeah, should be interesting.
Also, wanted to talk a little. EA is redoing or possibly redoing Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
So how much time did you put into that one?
So I've only played the first Knights of the Old Republic, but I have beaten that game. My friend, so back in the day, I think I was talking to you about this. I can't remember if it was on or off air, but the reason I first bought an Xbox back in the day was my friend had Halo.
Right.
And I would go over to his house to play it, and he would let me play through a story mission, and I was like, whoa, this is kind of an intriguing story. And then he'd put me in multiplayer with him, and he would destroy me and thought it was awesome. And I'm like, but I want to know what's going on in the story. So finally I was like, screw you. I'm buying my own Xbox. I'm playing through Halo. But then I ended up, I think a lot of people recommended Knights of the Old Republic to me, and my same friend that beat me in Halo all the time actually lent me a disc. And so I was like, oh, I'll try it. I tried it initially right off the bat, didn't get enthralled by it and intrigued, and I was like, I'm not feeling it, turned it off. And then I think he asked me, a couple months later, hey, have you played through the game? I was like, no. He's like, man, you've got to play it or give me my disc back. So I was like, okay.
Give me my shit back.
Yes. I was like, I will. Let me try it again. And I got started on it. And then it's like that next time I got hooked. And I was like, okay. I'm starting to figure out how the combat works. I'm starting to figure out how like the dialogue trees. And you don't get a lightsaber in that game. I mean, for like the first, it felt like 10 hours or something. I mean, it's a long time before you get anything that you're like, I'm resembling somebody that like is a Jedi or anything like that. But once I kind of got into that world and then a little bit more pulled in, it was amazing. And I think it's about a 30 or 40 hour game. But it was very interesting, and just the story and everything. And from what I've heard from EA is that they don't know if it's going to be like a remake of the first one or if they're taking things from the first and second one to make a new thing. Type of like Knights of the Old Republic, which I would be all on board with. They'll have to update some things because they can't use the same type of control style, but I'd be for it. It was a great story, and I love the branching paths, especially with the dialogue.
The articles from Eurogamer said they weren't sure if it was going to be BioWare making it again or somebody else. I'll be honest, they should just say, hey, Respawn, what can you do with this? You know, like do your whatever you're doing as a Fallen Order sequel, but see how you can incorporate Knights of the Old Republic into it.
I mean, yeah, if anybody was going to be handed it, that wouldn't be a bad, company to choose for sure. So.
Also, Nintendo is launching Pokemon Home this at some point in February. No date given, but they did announce the pricing structure. So, and you were saying you weren't even sure what Pokemon Home was.
I have no idea what you're
I'm going to show you this
about.
little graphic here. Basically, Pokemon Home is a central hub that will allow you to upload all your Pokemons from all your different games and stuff and trade them between your games.
Okay.
But you have to pay for it.
Monthly, you said?
Monthly or quarterly or yearly.
How much is it?
If you scroll down,
here we
you
go.
have it in front of you. You have my phone.
Let's see. So as far as plans go, we're available on a free plan or a premium plan. The premium plan will cost $2.99 for a 30-day subscription, $4.99 for a 90-day, or $15.99 for an annual. It's not too bad.
No.
Price-wise.
I imagine if you're like hardcore into the Pokemon and swapping characters around and stuff.
I mean, this isn't, as far as I know, going to affect me unless my son gets into this a lot, which he's been, he's got Pokemon Sword. He's been playing it a lot, and he enjoys it quite a bit.
I thought you said he had Shield.
No, he has Sword.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. No, he has Sword. But, I mean, I could see him possibly becoming interested in something like that.
Does he ever played Go?
Yeah. He played Go back in the day. So we don't have it on either of our phones now. Just,
So Pokemon Go, the Pokemon Bank, which I think is from the 3DS games, Sword and Shield, and Evo, or Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu can all upload to Pokemon Home. And you can... So what's interesting about this is they have the arrows pointing from Go, Eevee and Pikachu, and Bank to Home, but to and from Sword and Shield.
Interesting.
So I'm guessing it'll allow you to collect all your ones from all these and use them in Sword and Shield.
Oh, okay.
But you can't take Sword and Shield and move them.
Yeah.
Now Niantic's made a bazillion dollars off of Pokemon Go at this point, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're probably doing pretty well.
Yeah, so you think this is just a cash grab? Or, it makes sense. That's a lot of server space. And there's a lot of people that play Pokemon. And it's not like $16 for a year.
It's one of those things that it personally doesn't interest me, but for somebody that enjoys Pokemon, like you play Pokemon Go, or you and your wife
I have
does.
played. My wife is
your
obsessed.
Wife is bigger. But so if that's
my wife is obsessed with Pokemon Go. I just needed to say it loud enough so she could hear me.
But that's the thing is, would that be something she would be interested in?
No, because she doesn't play any of the other games.
Oh.
Now, having said that, Logan
is
the one that would be all about.
Well, there you go.
All that.
And that's the thing is, I'm not going to, decry anybody that would want to, bring those Pokemon over. It's just, it wouldn't be for me.
Pokemon. I wasn't quite sure how you pronounce that. Also, real quick, I just want to throw this out there. The Joker DLC for Mortal Kombat is getting some pretty solid reviews.
Yeah.
Speaking of solid reviews.
Have you seen his move sets.
Yes, his fatality.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty good.
hilarious.
There's got to be another one in there too, because they usually have like 2 or 3.
They have a couple of them. Are you much of a fighting game?
Yeah, I mean, I'll play a round or 2. I'm not very good at any of them, just because you got to dedicate some time.
Monica's a button masher, but a good button masher, to where I go like, I'll look over at her and I'm
I feel like you actually know what you're doing.
like, I don't understand how you're pulling off the moves you're pulling, watching the way you smack the controller as you do it.
Right.
But she's pretty good at it. I have a friend I've been wanting to get. I rented Mortal Kombat 11 on Redbox when it first came out, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was just not a game I wanted to spend the money on right away. But
Yeah.
I mean,
they're all games that like I enjoy, like watching all the craziness that they have. When I'm like, oh my gosh, look at these moves and all that.
Right.
But it's just something I can't dedicate time to.
yeah.
I've got to play Oxenfree.
You do. You have to play
Exactly.
Oxenfree. Speaking of good reviews, and this is the last thing before we'll move on. Initial impressions of Birds of Prey are out, and people seem to be liking it, which has me way more excited.
And here is something you said to me that piqued my interest more than anything else.
Oh, that it's getting compared to a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Right. Which is bananas, which is like, I mean, yes, please. Like, absolutely. My guess is, anybody that knows Quentin Tarantino movies, or even if you don't, it's a lot of times filled with a lot of dialogue, like heavy dialogue, and then just chaos, just bananas, out of control. And so I assume that maybe this is kind of what they're talking about. Moments of, character development, and then all of a sudden just bananas, which, okay, I'm on board.
I was hoping to find real quick. I was looking at Reddit a little bit ago, and somebody had posted a thing saying that it was bright and vivid and violent.
Yeah.
I love the part in. Well, I'm not going to say that because you haven't seen it, because you've only watched the first trailer, and I don't want to say anything in the second trailer because I don't want you to.
Yeah, you better not. I'll smack you across the
And apparently, and you were telling me that you'd read things where, what's his face? Black Mask.
Oh yeah, Black Mask.
Wow,
they said he basically outshines
Ewan McGregor. I mean, he is Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, but he outshines Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Some of the stuff that comes across, which I'm like, wow. Which I didn't even really expect the villain to get all that much of a. Well, I can't even say villain because the bad villain
is
Zaz. What do we
Zaz.
even call this?
Victor Zaz.
No, but like you realize what I'm trying to say, because all of them are villains. I can't say the villain because that like every single one of them is a bad character. So how do I?
Yeah, because Canary.
How do I classify who I'm talking about? I guess just Black Mask, the character himself,
the anti-villain.
I don't know, man.
Because it's not anti-hero.
Exactly. This makes it like kind of like confusing a little bit to say a villain. Well, they all are.
They all are.
So I just Black Mask. Black Mask apparently is crazier than Harley Quinn, which the movie is basically about.
Which
so I don't know.
Black Mask in and of itself, I love the character. I love Roman Sionis, and I think they picked the perfect actor for me. Yeah. And I'm like, really? Like, they actually went out and not only did they get Ewan McGregor, like they actually were like ballsy, like, let's go get Ewan McGregor. But Ewan McGregor said yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I love the most, because he's not one of those actors that goes, oh, sure, I'll do a movie.
He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to. He has like pick whatever movie. Which means he got the script and he was like,
I like
I want to do this.
Which, now it's rated R, isn't it?
Yes.
So here's my thought is that he's going to do some horrendous things in this movie.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not on top of everybody else, but I'm imagining a scene from like Reservoir Dogs with him like singing, cutting a guy's ear off that's in a chair or something like that, where you're just like,
well, see, I'll be honest. Victor Zaz is one of the other whatever villains that's
right
working.
Isn't it tough?
That's working.
It's a little hard to kind of describe this.
It's working with Mask.
Glad it's not
and
just
he
me.
he is psychotic as it is.
Yeah.
So
he's the guy that kills somebody and then knocks it on
himself.
On the spot.
If you've ever played Arkham City, yes, it's Arkham City. He's the guy that has the group of people in it's like a room with a glass floor that has like electricity and water running on it, and he'll electrocute him otherwise, and you have to.
Yeah.
So I need to play through the Arkham games again.
Yeah. I think Knight was my least favorite.
It was my least favorite too,
Yeah.
which is funny because before that it was Origins was my least favorite,
Yeah.
and it was only because I could tell it wasn't made by Rocksteady.
Right. I heard a lot of people say that, which they're like, they said it was just slightly off.
Let me put it this way: had Rocksteady never made any games, and this was the start of the Arkham franchise, like legit, I'd have been like, "Dude, this is a really good, solid game.
Yeah,
I like
best
this,"
game ever.
and then just kept going.
Love it, yeah.
It would almost to me feel like, so it went Arkham City or Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Knight. The quality for me is like if you actually were to take Origins and put it in front of the other two,
Yeah.
like it
It would have been a good projection, basically,
Yes.
of like, oh my
How
gosh,
well it
look at
was.
what they've pulled into all this.
Like you could almost actually say that Arkham Asylum was a step.
We'll just play
back.
it that way, and then just
Right.
in your head tell yourself.
Right.
So
So, you have a story. To
I do.
tell.
So not so much a story, but
An idea.
I have an idea.
It started.
This is
as
nothing
an
that I'm
idea.
actually
I
gonna
wish
do.
I see. I need to get okay. I need
Like
to
a
get
soundboard?
I need to get the soundboard set up because or a soundboard set up so I can play the clip from the Avengers. It started
Now,
with an idea.
I'm going off the cuff here. I'm going off the top of my head. But the other day, and I think that once I get around to what I'm trying to say,
I'll understand this more.
you'll understand this. You'll understand why I thought about this and
Okay.
why I've been thinking about this.
How long have you been thinking about this?
Maybe a couple weeks,
Oh, okay.
3 or 4 weeks. I'm trying to.
Are you
I'm not
writing it
100%
down?
sure.
Write it down.
No, I haven't written it down. But here's an
Well,
idea.
you know what? Here, this is a recording.
Okay,
We'll
here's
get
a
it figured out.
recording. So, here's an idea I would like to pitch to studios right now.
Okay.
So you've got a guy, and his name's Joe.
Real quick, have you ever seen Baby Driver?
Yes.
The one with Kevin Spacey and the
Yeah. I have seen
okay,
it.
sorry.
Yep.
I don't know why,
For a
but
second.
you said I got a guy, and that was the trailer.
Yeah,
right to my-
I got a guy.
You got a guy.
His name's Joe, and he is a.
Does it have to be Joe? Sorry.
Has to be Joe. Has
Okay.
to be Joe. So, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting the name wrong, but I think Joe. So, but wait. Yeah, I think Joe. But here's the thing. Joe is a, hard worker. He, falls into some troubled times. He's an adventurer. He has this almost otherworldly encounter with a crazy madman that has crazy ideas.
Okay.
And they, of course, battle for good versus evil and all sorts of things, come at each other. And
I need to set something
Yeah.
here so I can understand. Give me a. Are we talking is this like a urban modern setting? Is this?
maybe like. Okay, so no, thank you. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So let's say it's a modern setting, not in today's. Maybe let's pitch it back 40, 50 years
Okay.
ago. 40, 50
But
years
like
ago.
urban, like
Yeah.
like normal life.
Like this is the Earth. This
Okay.
is the Earth.
Okay.
But there are things that
London,
exist.
1956.
Things that exist in this world that are not what we have actually that do
Right.
not exist today.
Okay. Okay.
So he fights this crazy evil madman, and battle is ensue, and chaos and good versus evil, and it's like throughout time these two are like combating each other, fighting each other one way or another.
Okay.
And as the one guy that he's fighting starts to gain more and more power and grows stronger through time, Joe is kind of continuing on with his life, but trying to intervene as much as he can to try to keep this guy from succeeding.
Okay.
So as he's
Does
doing
he
this,
get stronger, or does he just
Joe?
stay?
No, Joe stays Joe.
Just
Joe stays
plain
Joe.
Joe. Gotcha.
Joe just stays Joe. And as he's going along, other things happen in his life. He, meets a woman. They have kids together. But he's always constantly trying to just knock this guy down. But this guy's gaining more and more power. This guy's crazy. He's
Okay.
power hungry. He's taken over. And
So
just
do these two not age?
no, they age.
Okay.
They age.
Okay.
So maybe the guy that's crazy, maybe not so much. Now kind of thinking about it, maybe he has a son along this way, and so like the other bad guy.
Okay.
So, but they're kind of growing as they are. he has kids. They have kids. They're kind of like battling throughout time for one another. You know, maybe even started out as like friends to begin with. Kind of
Right.
one of those stories. And they
Are
kind
you
of
telling our
each
origin
other.
story?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, Joe.
So, but as they, you know, battle throughout time for this power and everything, and Joe stays regular Joe, and this other guy, Madman, you know, continues to grow, maybe has a kid and stuff like that. They eventually get to a point where, you know, they've got a, you know, Joe's getting older. He can't really keep up with stuff. So maybe let's say, yeah, this other bad guy has a kid, and this kid's kind of wacky and kooky too, and he's not 100% sure what's going on with him. And Joe's getting older. He just can't, you know, let's say Joe's, you know, in his 70s or something like that. And he's got, you know, his family that he has tried to do what he can, but he's kind of living destitute and poverty. You know, he's done what he can to try to keep this guy from like succeeding in power, going crazy, taking over the world. And the guy tells him, he's like, at some point, he's like, Joe, we've been battling this entire time. Like, it's just been back and forth, you and me. And I just can't do it anymore, man. Like, I just, like, he's like, and I will make you a promise. If you stay in bed and do not get up out of bed, you just lay there. You don't do anything. You don't ever come after me again or anything like that. I'll leave it at that. I'll let my son take over my, you know, heritage. I'll let him do what he wants with it, but you got to stay there. And so he does. And then, you know, they live in their house, and, you know, that's kind of how it ends. And you're just like, wow, what's going on there? So then you start to kind of pull back, and you see, you know, he's got his family there. He's got, you know, grandkids and stuff like that. And his grandkid comes up to him, and he's like, you know, Grandpa Joe, you know, you've been good and stuff to me. I appreciate all the stuff you've done for me. And he goes and says, Charlie, I want you to go buy yourself one more chocolate bar. One more Wonka bar. See if you can win yourself that golden ticket. And I was like, I was thinking about this because our kids are currently in a play. They are currently in Wonka Jr. And I was like, what if Uncle Joe, because, you know, I'm sure you've heard the, like, seen the memes about, like, Uncle Joe, such a lazy ass, staying in bed, and then as soon as he hears that he gets some chocolate, he gets up and out of bed. What if there was a backstory of why he stayed in bed and he didn't get up? And that's my, like, idea, this crazy pitch idea. And imagine this whole movie, you, like, see this stuff going on, and you're like, man, what is this? Like, this is, like, kind of wacky, and, like, they're battling and stuff, and then he tells, like, Joe, you need to stay, you know, like, I don't know, maybe even some, like, magical forces or something. He's, like, puts a curse on him or something like that, and it's like, you're in bed, but, like, he defeats him in some way where he is now bedridden. He can't get up unless he, like, gets an opportunity to tour Wonka's factory.
I want you to know I know the title of this episode.
Yeah.
This is the Ballad of Grandpa Joe.
The Ballad of Grandpa Joe.
The Ballad of Grandpa
There you
Joe.
go.
Dude, that'd be like if you could tell it and, like, nobody knows what the hell is happening, and then you're just like, and then one day it just ends with Charlie coming
up and Uncle Joe or Grandpa Joe saying, go buy yourself one more Wonka bar. Just go buy yourself.
Is Wonka
Wonka's the son. Wonka's the son.
Yes.
Wonka's the son. That's crazy. I was trying to figure out how do I get them, like, aging and stuff. And I'm like, there's got to be some maybe mystical power that, like, Joe, like, closes off his ability to, like, take over the world, but he's given up and sacrificed that he's got to lay in bed.
You should know me by now that now I just want to make this a thing.
I do know you. Well, that's, like, the thing. I was like, who better to tell than you? Because, like, the backstory that could be told with this, like, okay. So there was a, you know, Judge Dredd, right? Like there's a comic book story. I read I don't know what I went down a rabbit hole of, like, Judge Dredd things. Apparently there was a comic book one time that started off with, like, an unknown stranger, and, like, nobody knew who he was. And, like, it was, like, a new comic book, and people were, like, reading, and they're like, what is going on? And I guess, like, at the very end or maybe halfway through the story, people found out it was actually, like, Judge Dredd or something, that this was this character, like, through the comic book. And I was like, that would almost be, like, a perfect medium to tell this story.
Yeah,
like,
it would.
This crazy, like, back and forth, like, these people that were, like, people that were friends, and this guy wanted power, and this guy was like, no, man, it's all about family and love, blah, blah, blah. you know, whatever, and they grow up and they battle and fight, and then this happens, and then at the very end, if like the very last one is just that little like storybook, Charlie up there and just buy yourself one more Wonka bar.
All right, so Uncle Joseph or Grandpa Joseph, because you don't want to say Joe until the last.
That's right. See, you're already thinking.
So
Joseph. Yeah.
What's the name of the guy that Wonka tells everybody to avoid?
Not Snarfblatt. Not. It starts with an S though, doesn't it? Oh man, you're killing me.
Austin, come here. We're gonna pull my son into this.
Yeah, what's his name?
Okay, so here's the thing. That's the name of Wonka's father.
Yeah.
So and that's there. Okay. So the whole time, so my son, who is playing an Oompa Loompa, who is the size of 3 Oompa Loompas stacked up. What's the bad guy in Wonka's name? The one that the kids are all told to avoid.
Slugsworth. There we go.
All right, I'm gonna have to think of that.
That's what we're looking for. Thank you.
We're working on the backstory for Uncle
and
Grandpa
so
Joe.
then Wonka. Well, and that's like the thing. I was like, what if then like Wonka, his son, you know, names this character after that, and it's like he decides if he's going to become good or bad based off of what Charlie does. This whole thing has been set up. The whole like story of him like at the Wonka factory was being like, can Charlie redeem Wonka's soul? Can he prove the humanity in an individual?
And maybe
present?
Grandpa Joe thinks that Wonka's whole thing is to take over.
Yes, and think about him yelling at him at the end. He's like, "You're an animal. You're a monster."
Okay, so it's Buttersworth, not Slugsworth. Something happens along the line.
Yeah.
Where you don't reveal to the end, like something happened when they were younger. Like here's a story. Grandpa Joe.
Buttersworth would be good just because it sounds like a candy maker anyway.
Right. So, but here's the thing, like towards the end, right when you get the big reveal.
Yeah.
So you have Grandpa Joe telling Charlie a story about his old friend.
Yeah.
And something happened where when they broke apart, some kids made him eat a can of slugs.
Right.
And he got the nickname Slugsworth.
You're like, you're not Buttersworth.
Right.
Slugsworth.
And it was
see?
like,
see how the lore of this could be built?
Old man Joseph, Grandpa Joseph and Buttersworth, best friends, little kids. Their parents.
He
knew
stood
each
up
other.
for him or something.
Something happened, and he went the wrong way, and he went the good way.
If there's any comic book creators out there that just want to like buy this story idea from me, or movies executives that are listening, you know, just give us a shout out.
Copyright 2020 PSA Inc. I'm just throwing that out there now. If you have any questions, email me at Brandon at Brandon.
We'll help you. How great
Brandon
would that be?
at PSAinc.me.
Yeah. Or you know, like this could be like a. No, I think comic book would probably be good. TV series wouldn't really make sense.
No, do comic because you could sell it out longer. You can make epic battles that take place.
Absolutely. It could be all sorts of crazy. As he's developing his industrial type, you know, like factories and all this other type stuff, then it's like Grandpa Joe's just coming in.
You know, if you want to really piss people off, you could also throw the environment into it, and with the factories and
that's true.
Working. Like, that's
true.
one of his things is to kill the environment by.
You never know. Or he could be a Nazi.
Okay, wasn't expecting.
Not Grandpa Joe.
Not Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, Buttersworth. So.
All right, see, now I'm going to go to bed thinking about this.
See, it was one of those like because my kids have been singing, you know.
Oh man,
I've got a golden ticket like a billion times.
I pick Austin up from rehearsal.
Yeah,
and like. Every damn Wonka song is stuck in my head by the time I get home.
Heck yeah.
And even when I pick both of our kids up from rehearsal, like they'll talk and one of them will hum something or just a little baby snippet. I'll drop them off at home. I'll go back to work and I'm sitting there going,
oh yeah. Which Anya's been showing me the choreography for the dance. It's adorable. It's fantastic. I'm sad I'm going to miss it.
Yeah. Well,
so
we need to figure that out somehow.
I know. We'll figure it out. Random thought, tangential, right off the bat. Have you heard "Circles" by Post Malone?
Probably.
It's pretty good.
But I would have to like.
It's a good song. It's very chill. I like it. Just had to say that.
Some of Post Malone's stuff I'm fine with.
No, yeah.
Some of it I can.
No, I'm completely with you. I think it's just one of those I heard it on the radio, and I was like, oh man, I was like, I just kind of like it. It's kind of like his Sunflower.
Yeah, so it has that kind of a feel to it.
Absolutely.
Then I'd probably like it. I don't. And this is coming from someone who likes a lot of hip hop, and I don't really get into some of the more. Why are we rapping about this type stuff? Like, either give me a message or make it a stress relief. That's my music thing, and like, and I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. I really liked Eminem's new album. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But like, some of it, I'm just like, I don't understand. And Post Malone has some of those songs where I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What's the point?
No, I hear you.
Having said that, and as being a huge Eminem fan, Eminem has a lot of those songs too. So it's just more of a.
I'll have to listen to. I haven't heard any of this new stuff yet.
Music for me is honestly my emotional release in life.
Yeah.
So it's like from the time I was younger, I could do a whole fucking podcast episode just talking about music. So it's one of those things. But which actually you should watch. You can't listen to the song. I want you to watch the music video for Darkness by Eminem.
You kind of, I think you said that.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's one of those things where you'll watch. If you heard the song first, you would assume it's one type of thing until it kind of got to the end. But if you're watching the video, you would completely see another thing.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'll have to look at it.
The Ballad of Grandpa Joe. Cool.
Right? Now, here, actually, what would be the title of said comic / movie? Because you got to be cautious, because you couldn't call it Joe. That almost be a little too obvious. You couldn't call it Buttersworth. Same kind of problem there. People be like, tie that in a little too quickly.
But I also kind of want to make it candy themed. But like not an odd, like Buttersworth. You said that kind of sounds like it could be a.
Yeah, it could be.
But you wouldn't know that unless you.
Yeah, you know how smart people are. They'll be like, "Oh, this is this guy."
Right. See now, okay, so we're gonna have to think about that.
We'll have to, percolate on that.
Well, we should just write this whole damn thing. Every episode, we'll talk about something a little bit different.
We'll come up with like the first scenes.
Just write us. Well,
we'll just do the comic ourselves.
I'll script out a comic book.
There you go.
Attention, anybody who wants to draw. Sam and I are gonna start scripting out this comic book.
There you go.
Once we figure out the name of it.
Yeah, that'll be the first. And if you have recommendations, or if you thought of a really good idea, shoot us a. I'm on @SamMSpangler on Twitter.
@PSA Prez on Twitter.
Yeah, shoot us a little message there.
While we're on that, I am going to do some changing on the way the podcast is distributed. In the terms of nothing's changing like to normal people. I'm going to, instead of it being on the Pizza and Cookies website, you right there?
Yeah. Sorry.
You had a ghost over your shoulder?
No, I just couldn't remember where my coat was.
Oh.
So
all ready to leave.
I know. No, I just wondered where it was.
It's just like Sam just starts looking left and right and left and right. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I have the main website for all the crap that I have is psainc.me. I'm going to move it to there. Which the only way that's really going to affect anybody, because it's still going to keep posting as it should, is that if you use an RSS feed to listen to the podcast, the front half of the feed address is going to change. So I'll fix that, and that's all manual. I know. Yeah, you'll live. But I won't be doing that for 2 to 3 weeks. So this is your fair warning, and I'll post about it when I do it.
Okay.
I'll probably also be changing the name of the Facebook page and everything else to just PSA Inc. So
cool.
All right, sir. Figure out your schedule if you want to do 2 episodes next week, or if you want to just do one.
What did you say that?
The 5th. Let me pull open my handy dandy.
Hopefully,
calendar.
It'll be just as good as that one conference. Where it was like, we have a PS5.
Here's the logo, which everybody knows what it looks like, and it's just the same damn thing with the different number.
Yeah. What if they were like, the PS5 is in you? You'd be like, what?
What?
That doesn't make any sense. They're like, we have got nothing.
Oh, so the 5th is Wednesday, so it'd be Wednesday next week.
Okay.
So you just schedule Wednesday since your work schedule is kind of just Monday through Friday?
Yeah, we could do that.
Although you look like you're thinking about if you have something Wednesday.
No, I think we'd be good.
I have my wife. So we set up reminders on our calendars for stuff that we have to do, like bills and stuff. A bill that we haven't had in like 3 years is still set up to repeat on the same day every month.
You could probably delete that.
I know. It's just one of those things. It's kind of more funny to me now. So I just went, nope, I really don't have to do that next Wednesday.
No, you don't need to pay that bill.
I do not need to pay. I have more bills I need to pay though. All right, sir. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we should record on Wednesday.
Okay. That was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah. But
all will be explained later.
Fair enough.
Okay, sir. I will talk to you later. It was good seeing you. Have a wonderful evening.
Likewise. Good night.
Peace.
Bye.